Hey there, gamer peeps! Welcome back to a new devlog by me, Broccoli G515, your least favorite vegetable.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm making a game in approximately 1 month. Why? Because it's Christmas themed. It is a Krampus based game, and I decided I would make it in a month. This is the first devlog for some of you, progress update for others.
What is this game about? This is Krampus Night. It's a simple game I'm making in a month's time, and the game is you playing as Krampus, collecting elves for being naughty, and Santa is going to try and stop you when the elves hit the button. So now let's get into what I've done in the time between. So, first off, I had to make the project. I'm using Unreal Engine 4 because Unreal Engine 5 exists, but it's still, I guess it's unstable, I've heard. In any case, I've heard it's better to just use Unreal 4 for now, so that's what I'm doing. So this project's made in Unreal Engine 4.27. And with that, first thing I had to do was I had to create my little characters. These are just blocking characters now. I'm not really modeling out everything just yet. So I opened up Blender and I made some simple scale to models. Blender's scaling system, I'm still getting accustomed to it. I'm used to 3ds Max, which gives you centimeters, meters all the time. Blender, I'm finding it to be similar to Maya in measurement, but that's a whole 3D artist conversation that I can have with some people in particular, but I'm sure not everyone cares. In any case, I wanted to make Krampus about 9 feet tall because he's a scary demon. And then for contrast, Santa's going to be about 6 feet, and the elves are 3 feet. Just wrapped a quick texture on them just for something to look at. From there, I had to start making the game. So you really don't have a game until you have interactivity. So my focus is to initially get the interactivity down so that it's something playable. It can look ugly, but in order for it to be a game, it has to be playable. So first thing I had to do was get Krampus working. Now, there's a big debate between what's more important in a game, gameplay, story, visuals. It all really depends on what kind of game you're making. And in this particular instance, this is one of those games that doesn't really exist without interaction. So I want to focus on that first, the interactions, the mechanics, the functionality, before I get into the art. So at this point, I figured the most important thing was getting the 3 major characters, that's Krampus, the Elf, and Santa, implemented to some extent. And that I did using Blueprint inside of Unreal. Blueprint is a visual scripting language, for those of you who don't know. Basically, so I don't need to learn like a dictionary worth of code, I just plug in pretty boxes. It makes sense for me. So the first thing was getting Krampus moving. That's the player character. So using a player pawn, I programmed it in so that the basic WASD make the forward sideways movements, and the mouse does rotate. That also in the controller works. So the joystick on the left-hand side makes you move forward, backward, side to side, and the other joystick controls your camera rotation. And cameras on a spring arm, I can show the whole process of building something like that someday if someone wants to know for some reason. Next step after Krampus was probably one of the more challenging elements that I would have to get done, which is the elves. Now, the elves simply run towards a button is the first thing I had to set up. Unreal Engine makes it easy enough with the navigation mesh. Basically, you assign it to a character VP, and as long as there's a navigation mesh, it does all the calculations for you to get things moving from point A to point B. And that's basically what I told it to do, run towards the button. The logic for their movement to get to a button is basically it finds all of the buttons available in the level inside of what's called an array, and then it chooses randomly any one of those buttons that it finds within the level through the array. It gets a random number through there and assigns that number to be the button that the elf is going to run towards. But then I realized that if you as Krampus are the big scary thing that gets in the way, you don't want the elves just running into you or running through you all the time. You want them to disperse away. That was where it started getting complicated. Because of the built-in mechanisms in Unreal Engine, it doesn't just cancel out the movement once you tell it to. So you tell it to do something else, it still continues with the logic of moving across its navigation bounds. So what I did was I had to tell it to stop all movement, and then I tried for a while to get the opposite of the forward vector, so the opposite of it looking forward and moving in that direction, but that was causing me more headache than I thought was needed. So what I wound up doing was I just told the elf to arbitrarily reverse from basically 180 degrees, and then a window within that, so it's like 135 and 225 are the degree angles, and 180 would be smack dab a full turnaround. Then they will run forward in that direction until they hit a certain point based on Krampus's location, and then they'll attempt to find a random button again. Once I had it so that the elves did run away from Krampus, it started becoming more of a fun situation, even though there was no actual gameplay yet. So after that, I created the spawner that would randomly spawn the elves whenever a certain time frame, a window of time had gone through. The spawner spawns elves randomly so that the level's always populated with new elves that are running towards buttons. And now what does Santa do? Santa chases Krampus. So again, that simple AI actor move to based in the Unreal's built-in system. The Santa will chase Krampus wherever he is. Then, when he gets within radius, Santa stops, looks for Krampus by rotating towards him using what's called a look at rotation. And then once he's looking at Krampus for a certain amount of time, he will fire a projectile. That projectile just goes in a straight line forward. And eventually, once that projectile has contact with Krampus, it will enter into a game over or a dead state for Krampus and send you back to the start screen. So right now, basically the game sort of acts like it will eventually. There's no scoring system, there's no death system. The animations don't exist yet because I didn't have access to the internet. But I should be able to get that stuff done hopefully quickly, and then I should have my game. What's left to do? Well, as I keep mentioning, get these animations. I'll be using something called Mixamo, where I'm basically able to download some animations that already exist. Then I will have to model the characters that will have these animations assigned to. Then I have to make sure that the attacks are socketed to the animations and certain things happen at the start and the end of an animation. Then I also need to make a scoring system that saves a score. Then I also need to, there's so much to do. If I have the time, I want to make an opening cutscene. I also need to do audio and record it, apply it to the game. I'm also going to need to, what else? I need to make an opening menu. That might just be start game and quit, but I need to make that. And I think that might be about it. Oh, before I forget, I need you guys to give me some advice, if you can think of it. Right now, I'm just using the working title of Krampus Night for this project. But if you can think of a better name, please let me know. The whole point of this game is you play as Krampus. You run around catching naughty elves until Santa basically shoots you. So, if you have a good name for this, you can post it down below. I'll give all names a fair shot. I don't care how dumb it is, because I'm pretty dumb. Yeah. Also, another way you can help is like this video. If you're interested in seeing where the game goes, subscribe. And if you want to play this game and potentially play it with other people, share the video with other people. Yeah, and that should be about it. There's only going to be 1 or 2 more videos in this because there's just not that much time. There'll probably be a lot more post-mortem videos about this game once it's done than there are going to be progress videos or devlogs because, I mean, it's a month. There's not that much time to make videos. So that said, I have to get back to making it. And until next time, if you're creating something, let me know about it down below in the comments, because I would love to follow your progress. As always, this has been Broccoli G515, your least favorite vegetable. Thanking you so much for watching.
It's kind of hard to focus on what I'm trying to say when I'm holding this little baby. Say hi, Ninja. Okay, so until next time, get out there and create something.